Good evening, good evening. The ever-changing technology of Facebook. Right, I know that we're live, so hopefully Facebook is sending out notifications to say that I am live. I'm just going to check here, guys, to make sure that this is all working. Now then, I can climb big mountains, but I am not the best with technology. So let me put, I can see that someone's on this. So if, or when you tune in, whether you're watching this live or not, can you tell me where you are tuning in from? I think that was Sandra D. There's a few buttons here that weren't here before, and I'm a bit scared to push them. Oh, yes, there we go. Perfect. Yes. Okay, we're getting there. Let me see. I've just got my laptop here to make sure that we are full systems go to. I don't think that's really helping. Right. Let's hang on just a couple of minutes to, oh God, slow connection. Why? I'm wondering whether to maybe come off my Wi-Fi. Hey from West Hill, woo! Myself and Elsie are watching. Hiya Elsie, how are you? Good. Okay, well, I'm managing to get messages, so that is good. Like I said, we'll just maybe give it a minute or two. I'm aware time is precious, so my aim is to run through all this as swiftly as I can whilst covering everything. I know some people aren't able to watch it live, they've already said, but it will be saved anyway to hopefully give you all a bit more information about what it is all about. We've got some more people tuning in. Tell me, where are you from? Where are you from? Is this? No, my laptop is useless. Right, just got Pamela. Hi from Cove. Hi, Pamela. Yeah. I was a bit nosy. I mean, God, I don't need addresses or anything, but I was a bit nosy and seeing where people are from. Good. You know what? I might just get started. Oh, it's saying slow connection. To come off the Wi-Fi or not? You know what? Let's do it. Let's come off. Oh, trying to reconnect. Oh, shit. This has gone really well. Do you know what? Trying to reconnect. Can you let me know? Is that it fixed now? Can you just give me a thumbs up if that's all good? Fucking Facebook, honestly. And it's that time of the night when my brain tends to start working, so this is going to be touch and go. But hopefully, I see it's cut some people off. I'm just going to go for it. So, aim of the game, guys, is to tell you a bit how it all works, because yeah, I've had quite a few questions since this journey began about what it entails. So tell you what it's all about, answer the most common questions, give you my Garmin link, which you can hopefully see in the text of this live, give you my Just Giving link, because I'm also raising as many funds as I can for Friends of Anchor. You will find that it's working, but you are a bit pixelated now. You know what? Let's go back on the Wi-Fi. Let's do that. The Wi-Fi I had to get fixed yesterday is clearly not. That's okay. Trying to reconnect. Yes, okay. Let's keep going. The show must go on. So as well, just give a link and answer any other questions that you may have. So here we go. How does it all work? The first question that I usually get is, so do you just get over there and start climbing it? Which, fair enough, you know, everyone's heard of Everest, but unless you are really into it, you won't know. And I didn't know exactly what it entailed. So no, you don't just go over and start climbing it. This Sunday, the 31st of March, which turns out to be Easter Sunday, I am flying to Kathmandu. Once I get to Kathmandu, I'll have a couple of days there, meet the team, get lots of briefings, kit checks, etc. And then we're going to head on a flight to Lukla. So Lukla's going to be the smallest plane in the world, kind of thing. Well, maybe, no, it's probably not in the world. But anyway, I'm flying into the most dangerous and highest airport in the world. There is a very short runway that goes into the side of a cliff or off a cliff. So yeah, that is going to be exciting and an experience in itself. Once we're in Lukla, again, we're going to meet, regroup for a briefing, and then start a 10-day trek through what's called the Khumbu Valley. So we make our way up this Khumbu Valley, staying at a night here and there, and then resting to try and acclimatise, because that's the aim of the game and why it takes so long to summit Everest, because it is a 60-day trek. I'm away for 2 months in order to allow for that acclimatisation process to happen. And that's why a lot of people don't succeed, is because they do not fully acclimatise. So we go for a 10-day trek through the Khumbu Valley. We get to something called Le Bouche Base Camp. So imagine Le Bouche is here and Everest is here. So this is a mountain beside... Oh, that's okay. It's telling me something. This is a mountain beside Everest. And the reason why we summit that first is because it saves a rotation through the Khumbu icefall, which I'll touch on shortly. So once we get to La Bouche Base Camp, we then hike up, ascend up to High Camp. We take some gear up there. We then come back down, spend a night or two. We go back up to High Camp, spend another night or two there. Then we aim for that summit push. And just to give you an idea, yeah, didn't print that off. That's not very helpful. Let me put this here. It was to give you an idea of heights. So here we go. So La Bouche Base Camp is almost 5,000 meters in itself, so just over 16,000 feet. La Bouche Summit is over 6,000 meters and over 20,000 feet. So even that alone, that's a 6,000 meter peak, is going to be pretty hard going. But the reason we do that, like I said, saves rotation, and also the climbing on La Bouche is very similar to that for Everest. So it just gives us a good bit of training before we go there. So once we summit La Bouche, there's about a 5-mile trek or something to Everest Base Camp, and that will be my home for the next 40 days. Where I will spend, where am I? Next 40 days acclimatizing. And tons of training as well. So how to use my oxygen, my regulator, my oxygen tanks, how to cross the ladders through the Khumbu icefall, etc. As well as plenty of rest and eating as much food as I can and resting as much as I can. The process is that your Everest Base Camp, you've got the Khumbu icefall, and you've got camps 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then the summit. So the aim of the game is to go through the Khumbu icefall, camp 1, and then come back down, and then we go camps 1, 2, back down, and then we work our way up to camp 3, where we then spend on summit push day, we spend a night sleeping on oxygen, and then head for 4, and then the summit, then all the way back down to camp number 2 on that summit push day. So summit day definitely is the most challenging day out of all of it. You are expected to be exhausted, but hopefully well enough to be able to complete it. So let's run over, let's get it out there. Some dangers, some stats, some fears. So over 300 people have died. Well, I actually might want to cover Elsie's ears for this, if there's any young children watching, just because it's a harsh reality, right? A lot of people aren't aware of it. And yeah, it is important to know that this is, this is not going to be an easy feat. There is an element of risk. However, I have done all the training. Last year was an insane training year. I've done all the training that I need to prep me for it. I have gone with one of the best companies you possibly can. They're highly experienced, great kit, know what they're doing, strong Sherpas. I'm eliminating every risk that I possibly can apart from Mother Nature. So, but I'm going to tell you them. So yes, this maybe your phones for Elsie. Over 300 people have died trying to reach the summit. There's still about 200 bodies on the mountain just because they're so hard to retrieve. They become very heavy when they're frozen, and yeah, it's just too dangerous, especially when you're in the death zone, which is above 8,000 meters, which is primarily where people fatalities happen. 2023, so last year, was one of the most deadliest years on Everest. There was 18 deaths. The recent success rate is 60%, so it is not guaranteed that I am going to make the summit, even though I'm going, yeah, I've gone upstairs now. She's worried enough about you without hearing the facts. Yes, bless her. So less than 60% success rate. There was less than 20% success rate on Chimborazo, and I managed to do that with gastroenteritis. So I'm feeling positive, Out of the whole year, there is only a 2-week weather window. This is where monsoon season allows us, so there's not too much rain, and the wind speed is low enough to allow you to safely summit. Now that 2-week weather window can be narrowed. It's not necessarily you get 2 weeks. It might be even smaller depending on what the weather does. So I'm hoping for a big weather window, which means smaller queues. You might have seen pictures floating around that people are queuing to get up Everest and things like that. There's one particular picture where the weather window was 3 days, so everyone was trying to hit that summit within 3 days, and that's when that picture was taken. But yes, one of one of my biggest fears is being in that death zone and yeah, there being a queue and watching my oxygen run out. However, I've maybe just watched too many movies on it. I'm hoping that, yes, that will not be an issue at all. My guys are one of the best at, with a meteorologist, and pinpointing windows and timings to make sure that we skip the queues. So I'm relying on them to get me through it. There's 67% less oxygen in the air in the death zone. Little random fact there, 67% less. The biggest killer is on summit day, primarily descending, just from pure exhaustion, from falls. There is obviously the risk of avalanches and earthquakes, and of course the Khumbu icefall, where you've got to walk through ladders through giant bits of ice. This icefall that moves about a metre a day, so you need to climb throughout the night, which is the safest time to climb to minimize the movements and big chunks of ice falling off and taking you out. So yeah, my biggest fear, like I said, is being in that death zone, embracing my fear of heights. So yes, fear of heights, and coping with my breathing issues. You might have seen a post recently that I struggle from bronchoconstriction, where my air tubes close up when I challenge myself and I push myself. And I got a very good idea of how my body works through all my training last year, through being at Mont Blanc, Gran Paradiso in Ecuador, all those high altitude volcanoes. I know that I can acclimatize. I know that I can breathe okay. I just have to play a very good game with not pushing myself too much and going slowly. Pole pole is what they say, slowly, slowly. And I can manage that with my inhaler, so I'm hoping that will all be okay. It is going to be a busy year on Everest, which, yes, is not helping that anxiety about the queues. There are 1,900 people heading from base camp to summit. That doesn't include all the people working at base camp, but the actual, your foreigners that want to summit, your Sherpas that are going to summit with them, 1,900 people. Now, going on the recent success rate of 60%, that would equate to 1,140 people, half of them being Sherpas. So half that foreigners, half that Sherpas, hoping to be part of those stats, which I believe actually smashes a record from 2019. There's going to be a lot of people on the mountain, so fingers crossed for a big weather window. Right, moving on to some frequently asked questions, the ones that I get asked a lot. So Lee, why are you doing that? Why are you putting yourself through that? Basically, I have had a long-standing fascination with Everest, and having doing this journey, a lot of people have said, oh, me too, I've watched all the documentaries, I've watched all the programs, you know, I've always had a dream of doing it. I just never knew that it would actually become a reality. And long story short, I got to a place in my life where it was, you know, a bit of a turning point, and it was now or never. I either do it or I never do it, and I chose to do it, and then figured out what I needed to do it. And then here we are, I am 12 days out. You know, it's very symbolic for me. Some of you may or may not know my past, but this is my journey from rock bottom to the top of the world, from battling a 15-year eating disorder, alcohol issues, depression, just really, you know, hitting that rock bottom, to then clawing my way back up. This for me is that, you know, the highest you can get of being like, you know what, I have overcome everything in my life, and I'm going to stand on top of the world and prove that, you know, I have overcome it. I'm there. It's, yeah, it's very meaningful for me. But I will also be the first female from Aberdeen if I'm successful, and this 7th female from Scotland, which is pretty cool at the same time. So yeah, there's a lot going on behind that, and I'm obviously also raising money for Friends of Anchor. So yeah, I'm going to come on to that in a minute, guys. But if you can even hit like, that would be awesome. And maybe share this video as well to help put it out there and help me raise more money for Friends of Anchor. That would be awesome. Another big question, one of the big questions that I get asked, is there Wi-Fi? Like, everyone wants to know, but is there Wi-Fi? Your standard question before you go anywhere on any trip. Yes, there is Wi-Fi. However, it's very expensive. It's quite sporadic. Not sure how reliable it is. So I'm hoping to be able to share some videos myself, especially my stories, things like that. But I'll come on to my partner Laura. She's going to be keeping you updated and taking over my socials while I'm away. But yeah, I'm definitely have a view that I will be able to share pictures, videos, etc. Are you going in a group? No, I'm going by myself, but Climbing the Seven Summits, which is my Everest company, is a big team. So even though I will have a one-to-one Sherpa, there will be a group of us that are, either have one-to-one Sherpas or are going in a group themselves. There's different options. Yes, I can see your question there. I'll come on to that. So yes, so I am, but I'm not in a group. I will have my Sherpa all the way up through Everest. I will be in a group up La Bouche, like I mentioned, that first mountain, and then have, yeah, my Sherpa from Everest, from base camp to the summit, which is pretty awesome. Can't wait to meet my Sherpa. That'll be really cool. Can you shower? Yes, but not very often. I am anticipating that, yes, I won't be able to shower very often, let alone wash my hair, etc. There is a shower there. There is a toilet, which is probably a hole in the ground, maybe with like a kind of seat on top of it. It will be very basic. I'll be living a very basic life for the next couple of months. So yeah, which is fine. It's what I'm anticipating. There's also certain times that you're allowed to wash your hair because there's no hairdryer. It's obviously very cold there. So yeah, to allow it for dry and prevent hypothermia, all this kind of stuff, there'll be set times that you can wash your hair. What will you eat? I get asked a lot. I will be taken care of very well at Everest Base Camp. My company spent a lot of money hiring a 5-star chef. So yeah, they've got pizza nights and everything going on. So I'll be well fed at base camp if I can eat. The big problem is that when you're at altitude, you really lose your appetite. You lose your appetite. And sometimes you've got to force food down you, but you really do need to eat. I will have 4 kilograms, apparently. I'm allowed to take of my personal snacks, things that I know that I can eat if I'm not feeling so good, things from home. When I'm up the mountain, yeah, it's going to be dehydrated stuff. It's whatever, they kind of give you. So it probably won't be the best thing, but I'll still have my snacks, and yeah, I will have food. You can expect to lose between 1 and 1.5 stone each mountaineer going to Everest, so I've actually been trying to beef up a little bit, which, yeah, I'm a bit fluffier, but yeah, we'll see how I am when I come back. I'm going to take a before picture and an after picture to see how I get on. I'll answer these 2 questions first. So we want to know if you need to scoop your poop. Do you know what? That's actually a really interesting question. Everyone was delighted to tell me, did you know, Lee, this year you need to. So from what I can gather, yes, the Nepalese government put certain things in place, but whether companies abide by those rules is another story. So I have read, whilst you are meant to do that, a lot of people don't do that. I haven't on my kit list had poop bags, added. So nothing's been mentioned, and I have not mentioned anything. So I might bring some. Just in case. So that is a to be confirmed. To be confirmed. Wondering if you'll be sleeping in a tent the whole time, or are there basic accommodations there? Good question, Pamela. So when I'm at base camp, I will have my own tent, which I will share pictures of when I am there, which you're able to stand up in, and it's, it's kind of got a bed, very basic, so it will be a tent there. That will be the most luxury I will have. There's a big dome tent where there's like a table tennis table, there's a barista, there's seating spaces, there's a really cool chill out place. Again, I'm hopefully going to be able to share pictures of all this so you can see. But when you get further up, the luxury becomes less and less. I mean, till you get to that Camp 4, where you just, you are going to be slumped in a tent, struggling to breathe, even with oxygen. Your energy levels are going to be very minimal. You will be likely sharing with at least one other person. So my Sherpa, I'll be expecting to share with my Sherpa or another female member of the group as of Camp 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just how it will be. So yes, I'll be tenting it all the way. There's an element of luxury. You can actually pay with my company to proper go all out and have this luxury experience. But I kind of figure, well, while it would be nice, you know what? It's just part of it, isn't it? Roughing it and, doing it that way. So, oh my God, Lee, when do you go? I go on Sunday, the 31st of March, on Easter Sunday, and I am back the 3rd of June. Gotham, hey Gotham, will you get free meals from 8848 restaurants in Union Street when you're back, since you would be in their Hall of Fame? I don't know, that is to be confirmed as well. I might walk in and be like, hey. Gotham, yeah, I hope she does, and I can ride along. Yeah, I've not been there, so I might rock up once I'm back, once I'm thawed out, and be like, we shall see, we shall see. A lot of these questions, guys, keep them coming if you've got some. So on summit day, this is what I get asked. So how does it work on summit day? Do you just go from base camp to the top? So on that summit day, on that summit push, we will go from base camp to camp 1. Sometimes you go to camp 2, you might just stay at camp 1. Everest will tell you when you can move, depending on weather, etc., and also energy levels, which is quite good while I've got my own Sherpa, because that can be dictated a bit more by how I'm feeling to a certain extent. So camp 1 or camp 2, and then you go from camp 2 to camp 3, so you spend a night at each one. Camp 4, and then you head to the summit. It's all weird timings because, like I said, you need to be climbing through the night, especially through the icefall, to minimize the risk. So yes, I'm not sure the timings of all that, but that is how it works. Once you go up to the summit, you then go all the way back down to camp 2. So summit day is about 16 to 20 hours. It is a long day after what, 40 odd days, 50 days of already doing all this climbing, perhaps not sleeping well, feeling a bit shit, not having, you know, the best food, etc. So yeah, summit push day is going to be the big one. But again, I will be able to update you with that. Partner Laura will keep you updated and tell you when it's going to be happening. You'll be able to track me live on the Garmin link that I have posted in here, which I will post again just before I go, so don't worry if you miss it. On a serious note though, calories at that height, do you have to eat a lot more? About 10,000 calories a day on summit push day, and yeah, about maybe 8,000 calories a day, 8 to 10,000. Just because when you're at altitude, you burn more calories. When you are then obviously hiking and doing all this stuff, you're going to burn more calories. You then have a weighted backpack on, you're going to burn more calories. So your calorie burn is pretty high, hence why you lose about 1 stone to 1.5 stones in that 2-month period. So while it sounds like, yeah, I can eat all these calories, like I said, when you're at altitude, sometimes your appetite goes, and it's really difficult. When I was on Chimborazo, my God, I can remember trying to force down half of a peanut butter and jam sandwich and half apple and cinnamon flapjack, and it was awful. I can still taste it now. So it's not quite as easy as you think. Again, why people lose all that weight. So once we go back down, done the summit, we've made the summit, we go back down to Everest Base Camp. You have a full day there. You can pay to have an extra day, but by that point, I'm guessing everyone's just want to go home. So you have a full day to rest, recover, celebrate at Everest Base Camp. And then what you can do, if you've got the money, and you want to spend thousands of extra pounds, you can get a helicopter from Everest Base Camp to Lukla, and actually all the way back to Kathmandu if you've got that much, or you need to hike back down the Khumbu Valley, which took you 10 days to go up. It's about 3 days down, another 40 hours onto it, which is probably what I'll be doing, unless anyone wants to pay. God, I want to pay for my helicopter, that would be great, or anyone, Jet, I want to pay for my helicopter, but otherwise I will be hiking back down, get to Lukla, jump on my flight, get to Kathmandu and come home. That is the aim of the game. Barry, what's going to be in your medical kit? So interesting. It's a very basic medical kit, but some things different is that I need medical grade glue for your hands, because apparently it's really harsh on your hands and it's quite common that they split and they rip, which is awesome. So yes, things like that. Meds wise, I've got to have acetazolamide, which is also known as Diamox, which is for high altitude, which most people will be taking. Nipephedine, things like that. There's a couple of other stuff for cerebral edema, and what's the other one? Cerebral, basically side effects of high altitude. You've got to have those specific meds, but on the general, it's your kind of basic things. You've got to be very careful at altitude, because something like a little cut or a bit of a sprain of your ankle can turn into a big thing. So it's making sure you keep on top of it. Do the Sherpas do the climb just once or frequently? It depends what your Sherpa's role is. If you mean in a season, as in, yeah, usually they may just go once. If they are a Sherpa that is taking kit up and down places, they will move around more. I will have my expedition, I have paid for the level of a one-to-one Sherpa guide, so therefore my Sherpa will summit once with me and that will be it, because bear in mind there's only a 2-week window, so there's only so many times that you can go up and down. But yes, you have different, believe you have different pools of Sherpas, ones that carry stuff and set the lines, etc., and ones that support their clients. Good question though. Keep sharing your link to Anchor and we'll share for you. Yeah, great. Do you know what? If you haven't hit like already on this video, please hit like. If you can share it, please share it. Massive thank you to everyone that's donated so far. It's been awesome. And everyone for their really kind words of encouragement. It is keeping me going beyond more than you even know. It's been amazing. Any particular food that is preferred, or just 8 to 10,000 calories on anything? I'm assuming no drinking empty calories. Yeah, I'm not going to be knocking back the vodkas. But yeah, your food's going to be like high carb, high protein food. Yeah, definitely. They have pizza nights and everything though. I'm making it sound like it's going to be a jolly, but my company put a lot of effort into making it as homey as possible and as comforting as possible, particularly in a base camp. So yeah, there's going to be pizza nights and things like that. So yeah, I'd say high carb, high protein to have the energy and replace you know, repair those muscles after doing stuff. And then my kind of like sweeties and things that I enjoy from home. Definitely going to be packing some crunchies, you know. Let me know, what if you could take one thing if you were going to Everest, something that you knew you could eat, what would you bring? And that question goes out to everyone. If you could have one thing, what would you have? What do you want your last UK meal to be before you go away? Great question. Already thought about this. Thought about it the other day. I was like, if I could, it's the Last Supper, right? Well, not the last supper, but the Last Supper before I go away. What would you have? And I have been, I'm thinking, oh yeah, you know, I really enjoy pizza, but you can kind of like, if I'm going to get pizza at base camp, I was thinking, do you know what? Chicken dinner. That is what I want. Mum! I'm going to have a little family meal before, Mum's not even in, going to have a little family meal before I go away. So yes, I reckon chicken dinner. Is that not a good one? What would you have? What would you have if it was your last meal? So yes, it's lots of, where is it? Oh, there. Lots of choices and packing to be done. So like I said, Skirly. Oh yes, I will be having Skirly. Absolutely. So I've posted on this live my Garmin tracking link. Okay, that is not going to, when you click on it, it's not going to take you anywhere right now because it's switched off. I'm going to be activating that on the 2nd of April. Okay, again, Laura will keep you updated and be like, hey guys, tracking links here, she's live. So just keep tuned to my page, and I'm going to keep it on until I get home on the 3rd of June so people can see that I have made it back to Aberdeen. That is the goal. Fruit pastels, yes! They always get me out of trouble on long rides. And yeah, oh, slow connection, come out the way. Well, let me see. Slow rides. Long rides and when not well. Yeah, do you know what? I'm actually going to add that to the list. Yes. Updates, like I said, they will be on my page. They will be on my stories. I will do as much as I can personally, but to be honest with you, I am going to be needing to focus on the task at hand. You know, the company has said you are going to be exhausted. You know, doing your social media might be the last thing you want to do, but I will definitely be able to keep in touch, send stuff to Laura, my family, things like that, and she'll be able to post stuff and keep you all updated. So especially when I'm at different camps, when it's Summit Push Day, how I'm getting on, when I'm coming home, you will be kept up to date. Like I said, Just Giving link is there as well. If you can donate, great. If not, simply by sharing these posts and things that I do when you can see the link is a massive help in itself. You know, really do appreciate all the support. If anyone's got any more questions, let me know. And if you have a question and you're not watching this live, what I'll do is I will answer it on my story. So keep posting my story, guys. I post more on my story. So you just tap my profile picture than I kind of do on my news feed. So keep tuned to that and I will answer the questions via my stories if I miss anything. How much time are you literally allowed to stay at the top? Is it a few minutes or hours? I believe I've been told it's about 40 minutes, which is actually quite a long time. Good question. About 40 minutes, because when you're in the death zone, you want to spend as little time there as possible. You've obviously spent, some people spend years training for Everest. I am going from beginner to Everest in 1 year. There's not many people, if any, that do that. So if you think about all that time that you've built up, you know, you want to have that kind of moment in time at the top of the mountain to celebrate. But if you want to make it back down again, you can't be messing around there for hours. You need to get back out. They say 16 to 20 hours maximum in the death zone. Because, yeah, there's just not enough oxygen. Even with oxygen, there's only so much you have to be able to sustain life. So you go, you celebrate, you get your pictures, and you get out of there. I'm hoping my camera allows me to take pictures, because in such cold air, your batteries can go like that. So fingers crossed, I can get those pictures. Hey all, super excited to keep you all updated. I feel very honoured to have this job, and will post as much as I can and keep you updated as much as I can. Yes, thanks babe, thank you. Yeah. What else? Yeah, so tomorrow, so to give you an idea guys, another thing to touch on just before I go, tomorrow is packing day. Getting the kit, all the kit for Everest has been absolutely bananas. It's been nuts, but I believe I'm about there. It's all on the bed through there, so it's all going to try to get packed tomorrow. I will post some stories, I'll post some pictures, etc., so you can just see exactly what it takes and how much you need. Are you allowed to take a Bluetooth speaker and play your favourite song and dance to celebrate? If it works, yes you can, of course you could, but yes, whether it works or not would be another thing. I think perhaps, maybe even singing might be a stretch. I'm probably, picture, take it in, and go. You taking a pocket camera as backup? So I'm going to take my phone, primarily my phone. I was going to possibly get a GoPro, but that is, I think, out of my budget right now. So in hindsight, it's probably just gonna be my phone. I don't know, do you get cameras anymore? Do you get, I don't have one, but I might see. I'm kind of hoping that if my phone dies, that my Sherpa or someone else up there is going to have a phone or something that they can take a picture with, because I will have my Friends of Anchor flag, and I will have my Scotland and in my logo flag as well. So I'm really hoping to get that. Yes, okay, yeah, I'm going to take a little battery bank that I can kind of hook it up to as well, but you have to keep everything in your summit suit to keep it as warm as possible, because literally it can be the second you take it out into that cold air, it can die. So I'm going to have to kind of like go like this and then get it out. It's going to be a one take wonder, none of this kind of like, woo, selfies and whatever, but I will get the pictures, and if I can get a video, I'll get a video, but I might explore a little bit of a backup for the camera. Loving all the questions guys, love them. And like I said, I'm going to shoot out now to give you guys the rest of the evening and keep it as short as I can. Oh hello, here's my cat Missy come to join the live. But if you've got questions, I will still answer them on my stories. I hope that's been insightful for you, giving you a bit more knowledge about what I'm actually going to be going through for the next couple of months. I'm buzzing for it. I'm nervous, but I'm buzzing, and yeah, I will keep you updated as much as I can. Thank you for tuning in.